back to painting and decorating. It's time to gloss these doors. I thought I'd do a video on how to store oil brushes and how to clean them out before you start glossing. Now, I have two sets of brushes, colours and then my white brushes. So these always just stay in white. And I keep them in water. Change the water every week. That's all you got to do. Stops it from smelling. I'll show you how to clean the brush out. So first of all, because I'm using oil gloss and not oil undercoat, I use different brushes. The reason for that is because the viscosity of the gloss is a lot different than the undercoat, and just the way it flows. You need more of a stumpier bristle for gloss. You know, undercoat, it doesn't matter as much because it's not as thick, it doesn't drag. Oil gloss, you need to push it about more, so you need a stumpier brush. Let's just have a quick look which ones I'm going to use. There's one. So I'm going to use that to cut in, and it's quite stumpy, as you can see. I'll compare that to, where we go? Too many brushes. Oh, you can see the difference there on the length of bristle. Right, and then I'm going to use a 2-inch. I'm not going to use that one because where's the one? Let's just have a look at that. You can see the difference there. Now, granted, you know, they look mucky. They are, because they've been sat in water. And when you're working all day and you finish what you're doing, you know, you're going to be using them the next day sometimes. And I know keeping them in water, no problem. And even if I leave them in the water for over a month, as long as I change the water, it doesn't matter too much. So there you go. I'm going to use the Warning one for the glossing. Look at that. Now, what I usually do, if I've got a rubbish bag on the job, I'll actually wipe out the brushes, knock out the water from in the brushes. If you've just used them like yesterday and they're nice and clean and you've just kept them in water overnight, just knocking the water out is usually enough. You can just work it into your paint and start your work. Right. Next part, it's some old newspaper. I say old because make sure the person who's, you know, sometimes I've took someone's newspaper and said, I'm not finished reading that. So there you go, make sure it's old. Take in your scraper, and give it a scrape up. Same with a 1-inch. letting them rub out. And that'll do for that stage, that's not too bad at all, that. Using your wire brush, I've only got this one, I usually use the square ones. You can just wipe over the bristle straight down and give the stock a wipe round, because what you don't want is bits coming off between the bristle and the stock when you're glossing. You want to make sure that's nice and clean. That's not too bad. Right. So the next stage is taking some white spirit. You can use turpentine for this if you want, it's cheaper. A little bit in your can. Just work that white spirit into it. And already you can see the brush is coming up well. Nothing wrong with it. And make sure you work it into that stock, because you want to loosen that paint up. There we go. Now, I'm just going to repeat the process. And then, because it's oil gloss that I'm doing and it's a finish, I want to make sure the brushes are perfectly clean. So, like I say, I'm going to repeat the process. Recycle your white spirit. I'm just going to give that a rinse because there's a few bits in there. Some more newspaper, you can just check them over. Just make sure there's nothing. And then again with a wire brush, just give it a little go over. good. That's typical, that. I've gone and used a water-based paint in this, a water-based gloss, which I'm beginning to fall out with completely. And it's just worked up into my brush. Look at that. Right, so I'm just going to change this pot now and use one that I've used oil in. Typical, that is. Right, first off, bit of newspaper. Do you know, I am falling out with this water-based finish lac. It's just, they're not as tough as you think. So just give that a scrape off there. Can't believe that. This has had oil undercoat in it and it won't work up. That was water-based gloss, that was. Look at that. Nice. Once you get that in your gloss, pulls it together. Lovely brush. Now usually what I do is you can let them dry out for 10 minutes, let the white spirit evaporate, and if you don't, you have to really work them into your paint and make sure the white spirit doesn't start coming out of stock into your, as you're painting, and thins it out and you causes a mess. So let them dry out or work your brushes really well into your paint. Not bad at all, that. It's not working up on the bottom. Not like that one. That's water-based paint, that. Meant to stick to anything. I won't tell you what make that is. And that's just oil undercoat. So there you go. Brushes are ready.